Welcome to Business Live. I'm Mark Croskery in BL tonight. First up, we got Stanley Motta considering a dividend here. This is a company down by 58 Halfway Tree Road, real estate business, does quite a bit of leases or lease here in terms of the BPO industry. Been doing relatively well. So the board of directors is going to be getting together on November 9th, 2020, right around the corner to consider a dividend. That's an ordinary dividend to stockholders. Next up, we got Eppley Caribbean Property Fund here. This is a value fund to be specific. Updated NAV, that's a net asset value published here. The date is October 30th, 2020. It's in Barbados dollars, so don't get it confused, with Jamaican dollars or US dollars. You could misread that. So it's BB dollars, that's Bajan dollars, Barbadian dollars, 69 cents in terms of the NAV. Now, you would recall Eppley Property Value Fund being really buying back up those shares through lead broker. They disclose that, NCB Capital Markets, and they put out their releases every so often on the JSE. Next up, we got Cable Bahamas. Not a company we talk about too much on Business Live. They don't have necessarily too much press releases or corporate action items, but they do tonight. So what they're saying here is their annual general meeting notice. They make it clear that it's going to be virtually held, like what you're seeing a lot of companies doing. A few are still doing physically. But you're seeing mostly doing virtually or a hybrid, like what Careers did or what we spoke about there. So Cable Bahamas advising that their annual general meeting is going to be held virtually December 9th, 2020. It's going to be at 6 p.m. via Lumi Global. That's the Lumi Global platform, something that we haven't heard about, but there is Google, folks. So if you're a shareholder, jump onto Google. Now, they make it clear that they're going to be sending out a link to access this annual general meeting, and it's going to be provided to shareholders in Cable Bahamas in advance of this meeting. Now, the release to the stock exchange doesn't tell you when you'll get the link, how you'll get it and so forth, but we assume on Business Live you'll get it in your packages if you're a shareholder in Cable Bahamas or via email or some sort. But it would be good if Cable Bahamas makes that clear, or transparent for their shareholders on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. That's the point of it. Next up, we got ABM Packaging and Paper here. It's a nice rebound, or the company continues to rebound, since it had its issues, with the toilet paper debacle or manufacturing a couple of years ago. So these are the results here for the year end August 2020. ABM Packaging, the revenues slightly declined, hitting 720.4 million Jamaican dollars versus 762.2 million Jamaican dollars. But profits, profits are the more important thing, and cash. The company has a lot of cash on its balance sheet right now, which is fantastic. So profit before tax, which is what the management discussion analysis is really focusing on. The chairman and the CEO higher at 57 million Jamaican versus 50 million Jamaican. But after all the adjustments, the earnings per share a bit lower, but really there's some one-off adjustments there. So let's focus on the profit before tax, or the PBT. Now, the big news here, Nestle, one of the largest largest food companies or food giant, doing a nice deal here. Because they're so big, they can be a bit late to this party of doing these type of deals or transaction. Buying a business here called Freshly, a small deal for them, 1.5 billion, US dollars. This is a kind of US startup company that delivers, food that is really prepared, ready to go, pre-prepared food. So, this could be like a butternut salmon. It could be a butter salmon, it could be anything like that. You're in between your Zoom calls, boom, you just zap it, you're ready to go. Some numbers for this company: it ships 1 million meals already per week. The company is expecting, that's Freshly, sales of 430 million US for 2020. Of course, this could be adjusted. We still got November and December. But what makes a company a niche or unique, which is why Nestle likes it, when you listen to the chairman and the CEO of Nestle talk about it on YouTube and so forth, is that it's really like a, health, prepared meals, and it's a subscription-based company. So it's interesting. So it's not necessarily kind of like a Uber model or just a company that does deliveries, or a marketplace, but health subscription company, a bit unique. And Freshly makes it clear that they're going to be a standalone business. They're not going to be, adding on Nestle products. They're not going to change their prices. We'll see how that pans out, but that's what they're saying right now in terms of this deal. The deal has, quite a bit of cash up front, 950 million US or so, but has additional funds or monies that can flow in as the deal moves along. But looks good. Nestle making some moves a bit late to the party, but making some moves now with COVID, the pandemic, which is good to see. I'm Mark Croskery. This is Business Live.